Welcome to AK Apologetics. In the previous class, we are going to discuss about the introduction to the C language. Okay, this is the next part of this C series. So, which is the second part of the C series. So, without delay, we let's start the video. So, you can see over here in this part, we are going to discuss about the C syntax. Okay, we are going to discuss about the C syntax. So, yeah, let's continue. We have already seen the following code a couple of times in the first chapter, which is C introduction. Let's break it down to understand it better. Okay, yeah, so you can see over here, this is the code which you haven't discussed, but uh, we have to discuss it now. Okay, it will the most basic code in C language. Yeah, okay, it is the most basic code or the first starting code like in the C language, which is printing the hello world. So first let us understand what is the meaning of each line, and then we continue to the execute the code. Okay, so let me explain the code. Yeah, line 1, which is the hash include stdio.h. Okay, hash include stdio.h is a header file library that let us work with input and output functions. Okay, hash include stdio.h must be included to work with input and output functions. So what are the input and output functions that we have going to use in this particular code is printf. We have using the printf, right, in this code. This printf is a output function. To use it, the printf function, the code or the internal process of this printf function will be stored in the library called header file library called stdio.h. We have to include that particular library using the hash include. So that we have included. Why we have included? Because we are going to use the printf, right, to print the hello world. So to use the printf function, we must include this particular library. Yeah, line 2, such as printf header files add functionality to C program. Yeah, that's the point I have discussed, right? Yeah. Don't worry if you don't understand how hash include works. We will going to learn in the future classes as well. Just think of it as something that always appear in your program. Why? Because we are going to use the printf and scanf functions. Scanf is an input function, whereas printf is an output function. Next, line 2, a blank line. It's a blank line, right? Line 2, that is 21. It's a blank line. So I have taken blank line means C ignores the white spaces. Okay, where in case of Python, the spaces where plays a major role. Why? Because indentation is must be considered in case of Python, but we use it to make more code more readable. Why we are going to use this particular spaces means to read code more readable. Next, another thing that always appear in C program is main function. Uh, Text or the name with the parenthesis will be treated as a function. Okay, another thing like hash include stdio.h in our C program, we will always able to come across is a main function. This is called a function. Any code inside the curly brackets written will be executed. Okay, main, after we have used the parenthesis, so that it will be treated as a function. So after we have used the flower brackets or the curly breaks, curly brackets, so anything that we are going to write in this particular curly brackets are belongs to this particular function main. Okay, and the thing that we are going to write in this curly brackets will only be executed by the C program or the C compiler. Yeah, so next, line 4. Line 4 means 23. Okay, printf function is used to output or the print text to the screen. In our example, it will output hello world. Okay, printf is a function which is used to output the text to the console. Okay, in this case we are going to use the hello world to print hello world to the console. So to use this particular printf function, we are going to use the include the library that is stdio.h, which is standard input output header file library. Yeah. Next, note that every C statement ends with a semicolon. This is the most important point. Every statement in the C program ends with a semicolon. Okay. Here printf hello world is a statement so that it is ended with the semicolon, whereas return 0 is also a statement which is ended with the semicolon, and the function shouldn't after the function shouldn't use semicolon here. Okay. Okay, for only statements we have to use semicolon at the end to indicate it has a full stop in the treat it as a full stop in English. Okay, to indicate the program or to tell the compiler that the statement is ended. Okay, yeah. Next, note the body of the int main function could also be written as, okay, this particular code can also be written as int main printf hello world return 0. Okay, we can also write the above this particular code whole code in single line like this, but why we are going to write like this only means to yeah, I think you got to make the code readable. Okay, if you are going to see this particular code which is written in the single line only, you can't able to read this particular code. You can read it but you can't able to understand, and you can also understand this particular basic code, but if we are going to have thousands of lines of code, whole thousands lines, if you are going to write in the single line, then you can't able to understand it. Okay, it's very difficult, right? So that we are going to use this particular fashion or the spaces or the lines, and we are going to write code in different lines to make it more readable. Next, remember the compiler ignores white spaces. Okay, however multiple lines makes the code more readable. Okay, compiler will ignore the white spaces, whereas in case of Python, it's the most important thing in the Python, white spaces. Yeah, so multiple lines makes the code more readable, right? Yeah, that's the point I have discussed, right? Where in this case we are going to write only in the whole code in the one statement, but in this case we are going to write the code in different lines, which makes more readable the code. Yeah. Next, return 0 and the main function. What is it? What is the main meaning of this particular line? Return 0. Okay, after anything you are going to write after the return 0, it will won't execute in the main function. Okay, what I have told, the main function, main is a function. Why main is a function? Because we have used parentheses after main, and for function, okay, for that particular function we have to use curly brackets. Okay, in that curly brackets we want to write the statements which are required by us to be executed by the C compiler. Okay, we have going to write the statements in that curly brackets only. If you are going to write the return 0, after return 0 if you are going to write any statement, it won't be executed. Okay, return 0 is the ending point of that particular function. Okay, even though the matter you are going to write in the curly brackets only after the return 0, we can't, the statements won't execute it. Okay, that's the point. That's the point of the return 0 ends the main function. Next, do not forget to add the closing curly brackets to actually end the main function. Okay, return 0 ends the main function means in the curly brackets after return 0 if you are going to write any statement, it won't be executed. So that you shouldn't forget the ending the curly brackets which you have started at the beginning. You must end the curly brackets, then only it will won't show any errors to you. Yeah, so that's it for the basic code. So let me execute this particular code for you guys now, so that I'm going to use the comments will be discussed by me in the next class or future classes. So let me, yeah, this is the code hash include stdio.h, which is a library we must be included to use the input output functions like printf and scanf, which have used actually used in this function. Okay, and we have used the integer data type of this particular main function. Main is a function. Why? Because we have used the parentheses after the main, and uh, to write the statements in the main function, we have to use the curly brackets, which is starting and ending. In that curly brackets, I have written the two statements which are printf hello world to print the hello world, and I've used the return 0. After return 0, if you're going to write any statement, it won't be executed. Is it okay? Yeah. So let us execute this particular code. I'm going to run this particular code, C code. Let me run code. So just a second. So hello world. We got the output as hello world. Okay. We have printed the hello world. So this code is more readable, right? Yeah, this code is more readable. So let me do one thing. So let me execute this particular code as well. Okay. So let me execute. Just a second. I'm commented the above part, and I'm going to comment the below part. So I'm saved the code and executing code again. Run code. I got something error. Just a second. Let me see what's the error. Just a second, right? Yeah, I haven't used the hash include stdio.h library. Let me include that as well. Hash include stdio.h. Okay. So now will be no errors. Let's see. Let me remove this particular thing and rerun the code. Warning. What happened, right? Int main hash include stdio.h. Actually, it will be worked. Okay. So let me check on. So let me execute. Run code. So it's printing the output. Okay. Hello is getting printed. So we need to include the hash include stdio. So let me retry. It's printing, right? Output is getting printed, but we are getting some warnings. That's it. Just a second. Yeah. Let me use hash include stdio.h. Okay. Let me use in the two lines. Okay. So let me run the code. So you can see over here we got the output, right? Hello world. So let me rerun the code for your better clarity purpose. So you can see over here we got the output hello world. Okay. So this is also right, and above this is also right. But which one is more readable? This one is the more readable, right? Here we got confused, right? For the even one statement I have got confused. I don't know about you guys whether you're going to confuse or not. Okay. So that's the thing. So that's it for this video. I think you are able to understand what I'm going to say in the future classes as well. If you're going to understand this particular video, please like, share, subscribe, and share to your friends. And always have an hands-on experience. Okay, hands-on experience is the most important thing that you must have. Why? Because it will definitely memorize your memory about the coding or anything that you are going to learn. Please have an hands-on experience. It's the only suggestion from my side. Thank you.